Abracadabra. A la peanut butter sandwich. Open sesame seed.
Abracadabra.
Already said that one.
Jim, I have a fancy one.
Yeah, that's a good point. Makalakaika.
Okay.
What's up?
Jim, I think we've bit off a little more than we could chew here.
Maybe you're right. Let me try one more. Just one more. Murray Kazan!
You know what? I think I left my wallet in the car. I'll be right back. No, it's not a problem. I'll just go. Oh, hey. How you guys doing?
Hey, Mr. Sawchuck. Thanks for coming. Are we bothering you at all?
No, not at all. But the waiter might be a little upset I stiffed him, but I'll get him back next time. It's fine.
Well, I think what Kelly means is we're having a little trouble with this script, so it's a little beyond our expertise. We could really use your help.
Well, you know, I do have a couple of tricks up my sleeve. I mean, that's a pretty big book, but I do have a couple of tricks up my sleeve. I mean, you're gonna get in the way anyways. Oh, and plus, guess what? It'll wear off in a few minutes. Hey, I'm Murray Sawchuck, and this is the Top 10 Archive. Stage magic, a performing art that both entertains and mesmerizes audiences with seemingly impossible tricks and illusions. Although our documented history of early magic tricks date back to at least the 1400s, it wasn't until the late 1800s and when the Great Harry Houdini made his presence before the industry bloomed into the wonderful flower that it is today. Now, not as cheesy as this, but here's our pick for the top 10 most notable magicians in history. Number 10, Alexander Herman. Known as Herman the Great, this 19th century French native came from a long line of famous magicians. Throughout his early life on stage, Herman the Great learned from his brother Carl Herman, eventually overshadowing him with acts like the bullet catch. Now, what Alexander became most known for was a conjuring trick that would become a staple of lowbrow magicians and favorites across the ages. Herman was among the first magicians to actually pull a live rabbit from out of his hat. Now, while we know the ins and the outs of this very basic illusion, for the first time, Herman the Great was performing the impossible feat. Number 9, Di Vernon. During the mid to late 20th century until his death in 1992, Canadian magician Di Vernon was stupefying the world with his expert-level technique of sleight of hand. Now, his incredible skill was so impressive that Vernon became one of the very few tricksters to ever stump Harry Houdini, a man that professed he could figure out a card trick if he watched it 3 times in a row. Now, for Houdini, Vernon removed a card from the top of the deck, placed it in the middle, then flipped the deck over to reveal the original card. Now, after 7 consecutive viewings, Houdini was forced to admit defeat, giving Vernon the title of the man who fooled Houdini. In 1968, Vernon was awarded a Master Fellowship in the Academy of Magical Arts. Number 8, Mark Wilson. Dubbed by the New York Times as the nation's leading authority on magic, Mark Wilson is one of the top magicians of the 20th century, alongside other greats we'll touch on in just a bit. Now, what stands out as one of Wilson's greatest accomplishments was becoming network television's very first weekly magic series. The Magic Land of Alakazam debuted on CBS and lasted for 2 years before moving to ABC for another 3. Wilson continued his career as a televised illusionist, along with his wife, Nanny Darnell, on a variety of other productions that included The Magic of Mark Wilson, Magic Circus, and 4 different HBO magic specials. Number 7, Carl Ballantine. Without Carl Ballantine, there's a chance that magicians like Tom Mullica, the amazing Jonathan Piff, the Magic Dragon, and Murray Sawchuck, which is myself, would have gone down an entirely different career path. Now, Ballantine headlined the magic circuit from 1949 up until his death in 2009, and is credited with successfully combining his prowess as a comedian and especially as a magician, defining the field of comedy magic. The great Ballantine was awarded the Special Fellowship by the Academy of Magical Arts in 1973 and the Louis Award from Tannen's Magic. But the magician was about more than just the magic. Ballantine also acted in several films, including McHale's Navy, Penelope, The World's Greatest Lover, and The North Avenue Irregulars. Number 6, David Blaine. The soft-spoken Blaine doesn't rely on a loud, flashy production to pull off impressive feats. He relies on his skill. Over time, Blaine overshadowed his career as an illusionist with record-breaking endurance stunts that had him encased in a block of ice, standing atop a 100-foot or 30-meter high pillar, or placed in a plexiglass case and suspended 30 feet or 9 meters near the River Thames. But his claim to fame was his first television special, Street Magic. Blaine's low-key nature often played up in the wonder of his illusion and his tricks. His second show, Magic Man, sent Blaine across the country to entertain spectators in a range of cities, the reaction being more of a focus than the actual trick itself. Number 5, David Devant. As the consummate exponent of entertaining magical theater, or in layman's terms, the best of the best, David Devant worked for as long as he could before his body started to deteriorate from Parkinson's disease. His early years had him performing with Mascalini and Cook Company at the Egyptian Hall in Piccadilly, London, but it wasn't long before his dry wit and magical prowess set him up as one of Magic's most revered performers. One of Devant's more popular tricks, and one that we can certainly appreciate, was the Magic Kettle, during which he was able to produce an alcoholic beverage requested by the actual audience. Devant was so respected that he's still referred to by many British magicians as the master performer of his time. Number 4, Penn and Teller. From 1975 through today, the comedy act of Penn and Teller has been an audience favorite. Penn, Fraser Gillette, and Raymond Joseph Teller may not have been the first comedy magicians, but it would be hard to deny that they altered it, creating a hybrid of magic and crude comedy. Later in their careers, the duo became Las Vegas headliners, were awarded with a Hollywood Walk of Fame star, and starred in several television series that ranged from magic-focused to political satire. Their outlandish acts often feature gore and violence to comedic levels, such as accidentally sawing a woman in half after showing how other magicians perform the trick. The pair are known to call out frauds and even dish out secrets of the trade through their own incredible versions of the actual basic tricks. Number 3, David Copperfield. For years, Copperfield has ruled the stage of the David Copperfield Theater in Vegas, eventually earning Forbes' title as the most commercially successful magician in history. He's been privy to 11 Guinness World Records, a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame, and even knighthood from the French. Copperfield's introduction to magic started early as he practiced under the name Divino the Boy Magician at the age of 10. By 12, he became the youngest magician of the Society of American Magicians. Copperfield acted in the musical The Magic Man, headlined the Pagoda Hotel in Honolulu, Hawaii, and hosted The Magic of ABC in the late 1970s. In April of 1983, Copperfield performed what was dubbed the most famous illusion, making the Statue of Liberty disappear. Number 2, Jean-Eugene Robert Houdin. If you're praising greats like Harry Houdini, you're also secretly showing some love for Robert Houdin. Widely considered the father of modern magic, Robert Houdin was a respected member of the community, so much so that Eric Weiss paid homage to him with the name Harry Houdini. Robert Houdin started as a clockmaker in his family's business, turning to sleight of hand tricks to entertain friends and satisfy his love of magic. Shooting him into fame was his magic effect, Second Sight, during which his blindfolded son would identify items being held by him. Along with being the father of modern magic, Robert Houdin was also one of the first magicians to utilize electricity in his act. His career was relatively short, having died from pneumonia only 11 years after taking the stage. Number 1, Harry Houdini. Born in 1874 as Eric Weiss, Houdini entered the magic circle around 1891, finding fame when he met his manager Martin Beck in 1899. From there, the young performer entered into vaudeville, where he earned the name the Handcuffed King. Houdini started performing one of the most notable tricks, the Chinese water torture cell, in 1913. The act had him suspended upside down in a glass and steel cabinet that was filled with water. To escape, Houdini would actually hold his breath for 3 minutes, using either a concealed lockpick to pick the lock or use his own force to escape. Beyond magic, Houdini starred in several films. He basically helped debunk psychics and was the first person to fly over Australian soil. On October 31st, 1926, Houdini succumbed to peritonitis after allegedly being punched in the abdomen. Hey, thanks for watching this video. I really hope you enjoyed it. If you want to subscribe to my channel, go to YouTube, and it's Magic Murray.
And we know you love this video, so don't forget, give it a big thumbs up.
And don't forget to follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and our website, top10archive.net.
Oh, she'll be fine in a couple of minutes. Or an hour, a week, month. By the end of the year, she's going to be just fine. Don't worry about it. She'll be fine. Where are you going? Hey. Well, I don't have insurance for her.